Today, we're going to be talking about a recent release, Zaharoff Signature, coming right up. Hey guys, and welcome to the Lather Hog channel. I'm your host, John, and today I'm in a celebratory mood, and we'll get more into that in just a little bit. This is a collaboration that I've been really looking forward to ever since I first heard about it. And that collaboration is between Gentleman's Nod, a wet shaving artisan, and a perfume house, Zaharoff. It's been a really exciting time for wet shaving enthusiasts, especially those of us into fragrances. We've seen different collaborations between wet shaving artisans and fragrance houses, independent perfumers, and it doesn't seem like it's slowing down anytime soon. So before we get into the shave, let me show you what we're using today. First up for the razor, we're using an old standby, and that is Karve Shaving Company. This is the Christopher Bradley on plate C, and it's loaded with a Gillette Silver Blue. For my shaving brush today, we're going with one from Lowborn Supply, who are currently not active, but really had some excellent pours and some excellent prices as well. The knot on this one is a tuxedo fan knot, and you can see I've gone ahead and loaded the soap already. But just some beautiful colors here. Greens, oranges, silvers. And of course the main feature today is the soap and the matching splash for Gentleman's Nod and Zaharoff Signature. Alright, so I'm going to wet the face, get some of this proto lather from the tub on here as well, and then we'll get into the face lather. Before we move on to the shave, you guys know what I'm going to ask you. Please hit that like button if you're enjoying the video, and consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. So, to start things off, there were a lot of details released about this set that really just shows a lot of care and attention with how Gentleman's Nod is treating this really special release. First things first, the initial run on this soap and splash set, and there are actually a few configurations as far as gift boxes that include samples of the actual fragrance, Zaharoff Signature, as well as even like candles and other really cool fragrance adjacent products. One such detail is the lab that the guys worked with especially checked to see how the fragrance would interact with the soap base. And that makes perfect sense. You're working with a legit perfume and you want to do everything you can to present that scent. And as we mentioned on the channel before, soap is not a great medium for fragrances. It can mute certain scents, really change kind of what the scent creator was originally going for. And it's probably worth going into a little bit more of the scent as well, given that it's such a star player here. I think it's such a great scent to have a wider array of wet shavers exposed to. This is a modernized, elegant fougere. And so with the fougere scents, you know, there is a legacy of that within wet shaving. Brut being the most well-known one. Brut is a, aftershave you can find in your local Target, big box store, pharmacy. And that aftershave has a little bit of legacy as well, in that your father, uncle may have used that scent in their shaves back in their day. But that being said, I'm not personally a big fan of Brut. There's just something about the scent that doesn't quite do it for me. But I do enjoy other fougères, and I do actually really enjoy the scent of Signature. Now before I forget, there are a ton of notes in this scent, and besides the description, I actually wanted to put the scent notes up in the video itself instead of reading it through. So here you go. And while that's the actual note breakdown, what I get from my nose is, again, something that's elegant. It does not smell cheap by any means. It would work well dressed up. And I mean, it could work well enough casually as well. Fougères kind of have this connection to barbershops, to my nose at least. Lavender and oak moss being some kind of overlap in the styles. And there's definitely a greenness and herbaceousness to this scent as well. Now the soap itself is fairly firm. It takes a little bit of pushing before you make an indent. And the scent strength is quite strong. I would put it at around an 8 out of 10. All right, so here we go with the grain pass. I have 2 days of beard growth and just came out of the shower, so let's go at it. Anyway, let's talk more about the soap. I would say this is above average thirst. It's not a super dense soap, but it offers plenty of slickness, very comfortable shaves. This is in the Cardinal base, which is a tallow base from Gentleman's Nod. And the Cardinal base actually got tweaked for this release as well. And kind of the reasoning for that, from what I understand, is that they were improving the vegan soap base, and I've heard those improvements have been stellar, but because of those really positive results, they had to go back and kind of up the game for the Cardinal base. So we see a tweaked performance there. I only used the Cardinal base from the previous release called Kampai, and I really liked it. Offhand, I can't say that it's super different. All right, now here we go with the Against the Grain pass. Now at the start of the video, I also mentioned I was in a bit of a celebratory mood. And the main reason for that is I was talking with a friend earlier just today and realized that my first video on YouTube, on this channel, was recorded just a little over a year ago, in the beginning of May 2019. And that video was a very, very short, concise review, but it's not even a review, kind of just sharing my thoughts on a Wolfman razor that I had borrowed, and I think it's not even quite 3 minutes. Prior to that, the Latherhog channel had just archived some Instagram live sessions I had, both interviews, dual live shaves. But yeah, it wasn't until May of last year that I decided to try my hand at making some videos, and kind of just learned the ins and outs of recording, editing, production, all that stuff as I went. And has it felt like a year? Not really. Like, it has and it hasn't, but that got me just watching a few old videos and at least chuckling to myself how those were. But it's kind of cool. It's cool to think that stuck with it. I know a lot of folks that try their hand at YouTube, whether it's in wet shaving or not, don't quite stick with it, or kind of dabble with it, put it down for a few months, come back. But I know that for me to really get into anything, I do have to commit a fair amount of time to it, be consistent with it, and kind of cool that actually panned out. I mean, overall, I'm still experimenting just to keep things interesting for me, whether it be the type of videos, how to film them, or even just upgrading my current setup and try to improve the overall quality. I totally acknowledge that to do well, to stand out, you need to keep moving forward and not really rest on your laurels. So as always, you know, if there are topics, if there are things that you really do like, things you really don't like, your feedback, viewers, is always appreciated. All right, so the shave itself went very well, and of course we have the matching splash. This is quite strong in and of itself. I know when I used it the other night, my wife commented that she could smell me from across the room, and really this shave set is all about the Zaharoff signature scent. Also fun to note is this is the first splash by Gentleman's Nod. Well, initially you might feel a little bit of slight tackiness in the texture. This dries down very nicely, does not have a slimy feeling. I know that texture and face feel for splashes or just post-shave products in general is a big deal for a lot of guys out there. So I think the tackiness is, you know, part of the skin food, if you will. I know I don't personally love that. I don't personally love that term, skin food. It just sounds kind of gross, eating skin. I don't know. Not sure what a better name for it would be. Post-shave magic ingredients, face goodies. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think is a good alternative for skin food? I would sure like to use a different term than that one. All right, so the shave is done, and let me share my kind of final thoughts in the wrap up here. So I think what is central, and what really should be central in this release of Signature, is the scent, the beautiful scent. It's, again, a fougere. There's a nod to the old school, yet there's something modern to it. It's a strong, masculine scent, some herbaceousness. It's also got a barbershop vibe. It's clean, I think very easy to wear. For whatever reason, I do think maybe 30 plus, you know, as far as age appropriateness, but in this day and age, you know, if you have a very dapper dude in his 20s, you know, mature in how they carry themselves, how they speak, how they dress, easy peasy, you can pull this one off. And as far as how the Cardinal soap base stacks up, I think it's a great soap base. I don't know if it cracks my top 5 as far as favorite soap bases, but I do want to note that it's very easy to work with. It doesn't take a whole lot of water to get where you need to get, but I do find it a very immersive experience in this scent from start to finish of your shave. And I think it really does raise the bar as far as how to do a collaboration well between a soap maker and a perfumer. All right, now I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on collaborations? Have you used Gentleman's Nod and Zaharoff Signature? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. All right, so that brings us to the end of this video. I want to thank you guys so much for your time, for joining me for today's shave. Remember, you can always contact me on all my socials @LatherHog. I want to wish you guys all the best, to take care, and I'll catch you next time.